Greg, now, obviously, today's a bit of a special episode for so many reasons, but I want to be the first to congratulate you on episode 100.
100, eh?
It is very exciting.
Who'd have thunk it?
We have made a century of these, and with that in mind, I have little. Imagine. Now, I have a little something for you because I wanted to feel like, I was rather hoping that we would. I mean, the problem is we're very busy, right? And so I was rather hoping that, we would have maybe done a live show or something like that. Now, we haven't managed to make that happen. We've been too busy. We're too busy working photographers with children and families. So obviously, we're not going to be able to make that happen. But I did want to congratulate you in the only way I know how.
God.
Loud, brash, and a terrible idea.
It's an air horn.
No, it's this.
Hey!
That was a shocking. Right.
What Tom just did there was
way worse an idea.
Just fired a confetti cannon all over his kit.
Okay. that, my friend.
There's also a wonderful
Happy
gift
100?
that's going to be made from that.
That's way more of a mess.
Wow.
I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, so Greg, let me explain what just happened there. I got so enthused by obviously now chucking all of the confetti around, which I cannot tell you how much of this stuff there is. And that I thought I was going to have a day of work, but apparently I am now just having a cleanup day.
Yeah.
Look, it is literally everywhere. So I'm going to send you a picture in a minute because it is just out of control. But what happened also, I was so surprised, even though I've got in-ears and like noise cancelling in-ears, I was so surprised by it. I accidentally pulled my headphones out of my amp. So I thought I had somehow cut you off with the volume, but in fact I had pulled my own headphones out. So apologies. And
so
apologies.
It's good to know that 100 episodes in, we're still absolutely on point.
Absolutely legit pros at doing this now, I think. There's no one who can debate that apart from anybody who listens. So yeah. Woo. Happy 100, my friend. Listen, quickly, before we kind of move on to other stuff, you should be incredibly proud.
Well, we both should be.
Well, of course. But I mean, I can't see you because all the confetti has landed on my prompter. So I assume you are there. I can hear you. But yeah, no, I think what we have managed to do over, because it's just over exactly 6 years to the day where we put the first episode out. Wow. So that went out in, I think, the 6th of May, 2020.
God. Well, thank God we didn't have, we weren't doing the YouTubes back then, so no one can actually see how much we've aged.
Well, quite. Yeah, exactly. I feel we look better.
Yeah, maybe.
He says as confetti slowly falls from his head. I think it's been a very interesting thing to have started and done. And I'm really proud of what it's done. And I get told all the time when I bump into people, stop walking into me.
I mean, to go back to the beginning, you have to bear in mind that we started this in the pandemic, and obviously it was a very different world, an anomaly that year, those years. But also, AI wasn't even kind of being talked about really back then, was it? It's amazing how much has changed in the 6 years that we've been doing this show.
The landscape has truly flipped. It's mad. I think when we started the show, I feel like we thought people needed some support to help them get through one serious problem, one crisis, and then out of it, we landed pretty much straight into another one. Yeah. And I'm sure everybody is feeling the pinch. It's a
proverbial
bonkers time.
Photographic frying pan to
the oven.
Bonfire.
We'll go with that. But yeah, it's an unbelievable time to be working in the creative industries. It is, and it's funny. I saw a friend of mine who I've known a very, very long time for lunch yesterday. One of the first people I ever asked for advice, I think, when I was 15, and I said, I'm thinking about becoming a photographer. I want to go to university to study photography. And he said, absolutely don't do that. You're just about to go into one of the most competitive worlds ever. And that was 25 years ago? And now I'm like, oh, that was a breeze compared to how it is now, thinking about it. And like, even in just the 6 years, the amount of things have changed. And even just everything's changed. The gear has changed, people's attitudes have changed, how things are commissioned are being changed, how things are being delivered is being changed. The whole industry has had so many changes that it's as a working photographer, it has kind of been hard to keep up and keep guessing and trying to figure out how to plan stuff and things like that. You just go, no, I don't know. I don't know how to keep up. Everyone's telling us to do this or that and things like that. And you go, well, no, I can't. So
I think you just have to remember that the main thing is keeping your head down and just plugging away and creating what you want to, create as much as you can. Yeah. And hoping that it lands, and that, keeping an eye on trends, but not necessarily following them or being a slave to them, but trying to just make sure that you stay relevant.
Yeah, no, 100%. Can you see the confetti on my camera?
No.
Okay, good, because it is everywhere. Right. No, it's and that's the thing, isn't it? Is just, and it's so fast moving.
Yeah.
That it's just trying to keep up is a. I mean, that it used to be like, working was the challenge, but now it's just trying to just try and keep up. Everything is changing so quickly, and it's exciting in a way. I find it exciting, but I know a lot of people are having a really hard time with it. So we hope over the past 6 years that this show has kind of helped and kind of made you feel less alone, because that was a big part of why we started this.
Yeah.
Is we, when me and Greg met up the one time before we started doing this show together, we talked about what an insular and lonely world it can be being a freelance photographer. And we were just like, yeah, okay, well, thanks for the drink, Greg. I'll probably see you in a year. And then we started this. And it's been great.
I'm going to see you every week on a screen. I'm going to make sure of it. I think, yeah.
Well, I'm here for it. I know you're not, but
I know that with our Patreon community as well, that's been a big selling point for them. Mm-hmm. We've got a very active group of followers in our WhatsApp groups and what have you, that I think have really benefited from just having peers around themselves who they can go to for opinions and, say, oh, I've got this work coming up at this show, and get people to come along, but also ask opinions about ways to deal with clients or strategies for all sorts of things. There's amazing questions that get asked in that group. I'm constantly picking up, little nuggets of information.
No, it's brilliant. I love it. I've been less busy in it than I should have been over the past couple of weeks, because obviously things have been busy. But yeah, it's great just seeing the conversations going back and forth about literally all sorts, really. And it's a really, really nice supportive.
Licorice all sorts.
I mean, I'm always there when we talk about licorice all sorts. But yeah, no, it's a great group. Really lovely people, a real mix of experiences as well. Not as experience levels, but just kind of like, we've got some people in from Australia, we've got people in from the UAE, we've got a load of people in from the UK and regional in the UK as well.
Yeah.
And it's really, really interesting hearing everyone's different opinions, or kind of like what they've kind of done to overcome that challenge in the past and things like that. It's super helpful. And I think it's obviously the more people in it, the merrier. And we love running it, and we love kind of being in it as well. It's a really nice bunch. But the podcast has been brilliant, just in general. For me personally as well. I think you probably personally as well. Is in over the years we've had so many different guests on. It's been such it's what we always wanted to do with it, is to kind of show the breadth of people within the industry. So we haven't just had photographers on. We've had consultants, retouchers, digis,
producers, photo agents.
Yeah, we've had
commissioners.
Exactly, picture editors and all sorts. We've had, from TV, from editorial. It's been such a interesting mix for us to have those chats, but then hopefully also for you guys to listen to as well. It's been brilliant. So Greg, I would love to ask you, do you have any standout or favorite episodes? So let's go with number one.
Oh God, number one. No, I mean, I don't want to put them in order, I think, but definitely I could pick so many little moments that have been resonated with me. I really have appreciated all of our guests giving up their time. I just want to say that from the top, because people have put aside time to chat to us two morons, and they've imparted so much wisdom in the process, which has benefited more people than they will ever really know. And continues to benefit people, because those podcasts and those videos, they live online, they keep being seen by people, the numbers keep growing.
We do also, quickly, before you move on, we do also have to give a very big shout out to Art Stryber, who has given us more of his time than any of the guests.
Yes.
So big shout to Art, obviously, big thank you.
We had a great kind of off-air discussion with him, didn't we? I think I really enjoyed, I was thinking about this the other day, I really appreciated Owen Gale coming on from House and Garden. He is no longer the photo editor there. He has subsequently parted ways and is now actually shooting himself.
Oh, cool!
And
what a wild time to join this side of the industry.
Gamekeeper turned poacher turned gamekeeper. I'm not sure how the right way is to put that, but he he did years and years and years on the picture side of things. And I guess at the beginning of my career, I interned on the picture desk at the Sunday Times magazine, at the Times magazine as well. And so I really appreciate kind of seeing that. I did that in order to see the other side of the fence. And I really appreciated him coming on, because it gave us a perspective of how a commissioner, Fiona Shields as well from The Guardian, her episode was really interesting from that point of view. How somebody who's commissioning photographers thinks about photography and photographers, what goes through their mind, how they approach assignments and dishing out assignments, and marrying them up with the right people. I think from a photographer's perspective, those two episodes would be really interesting to kind of get into that mindset. I mean, other highlights for me, there's so many, but Lucy Lopp was another one that I really enjoyed.
Talking about imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that for me was, she's an amazing photographer. She's absolutely smashing it, and so many metrics, and yet she was very humble and incredibly open about her own struggles with how she's kind of dealt with imposter syndrome. And I think, again, that kind of honesty is super useful for people to hear. We tend to spend our time online looking at other people's work and thinking, oh God, I wish I could shoot like that person, or I wish I could shoot those assignments, without really realizing that actually the struggles, everyone has the same struggles. Everyone's going through the same stuff. Wherever you are in your career, you never get over it. It's not like you suddenly make it and you go, you know what? You're always going to have those doubts. They're always going to be there. And I think the sooner that you can come to terms with that, the easier it becomes, because then you realize you do kind of have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, of course. Comparison is the thief of joy, isn't it? Social media has been possibly one of the worst things ever for people's mental health. And yeah, it was a great episode. I absolutely loved it. I think Lucy was but Lucy was brilliant. And it's what we like about this show is we try to, just cut the guff, really. I mean, obviously
is that going to be our tagline? Spurs negative, cut the guff.
We cut the guff. But we've always been
some mugs.
But we've always been very honest. We firmly don't believe in gatekeeping, and everyone who's come on has always been brilliantly open and honest, and it's been it's been a really nice experience, actually, being able to just have completely peer-to-peer chats and not have to worry about anyone who's got a facade or, trying to get through a PR line or things like that.
Yeah, we've had very little of that, which is refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
I think having producers on as well has been really good. Like Ben Nash's episode I found that really interesting to kind of understand how he approaches stuff as a producer. I think, we've had photographers from all different backgrounds as well. I remember Danny Horton was at episode 11. He came in as an ex-army photographer.
Was that episode 11?
Apparently
wow.
so. It may be, no, it wasn't episode 11. It was, it must be 22 actually. But yeah, we had, who else did we have?
It was episode 42.
42.
In case you're wondering, yeah.
That needs to be changed in the doc.
Yeah, it's, I mean, have you kind of run through have you finished, or shall I?
Have you finished? Yeah, go on. Hit me with some of yours.
So, Chris Floyd.
Yeah.
Super, super inspiring. I don't know if
great storyteller.
Great storyteller. And I don't know, and I'd go to war over this. I don't know if there are any other photographers who have been that good for that long. So hearing him and kind of, hearing his stories and hearing how his kind of ethos is brilliant. I think Chris is an amazing, amazing guy. And that was episode 2? I think. So that was brilliant. We've got our dear friend Limonus, Ellis Digi, which was episode 17. And he came on and, obviously I'm going to love a chat where we can nerd out, right? And Ellis is brilliant. He's a real kind of legend in the game, really, as far as, how he's respected amongst all of us. And he makes some brilliant products, great solutions, and is always super helpful. I was texting him the other night and he goes, yeah, I am
on holiday.
Yeah. I was like, oh, no. Sorry. Right. Delete all my messages. You don't need to hear me talking about our specific settings on a router. But he's a lovely, lovely guy. That's a brilliant episode as well. And then obviously the episode after, episode 18, with the show's dear friend, Art Stryber, who is, if you don't know Art, you have to look up Art on Instagram. He's so giving, showing off his behind the scenes and his amazing lighting setups. If you want to see how the pinnacle of US entertainment photography works with the big sets and all the lights, and and then get very sad that we don't have it in the UK, just because we don't have the same kind of budgets or time allowances. Art is very much, pretty much the peak of that game, and he's a lovely, lovely guy. Couldn't have done enough for me and Greg personally. We had, we obviously recorded the show. We chatted for a couple of hours after, and then he set up another call for us to run through some extra stuff in detail. So Art, forever thankful. He's been amazing. And then who else have we got? Raphael at Capture One. I very much enjoyed that, because that's basically where I obviously had a bit of a relationship with Capture One before, but then that's where I kind of really got to know Raphael. And then obviously, I worked very closely with him, and you were actually out in Athens with the team the other week.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing to see. Obviously, we would like to take full credit for turning Capture One around, making them listen. We cannot, obviously, and it wouldn't ever be so bold. But it's been brilliant to see how that company has gone from ignoring their user base to actively embracing them, and the difference in the software between then and now is unbelievable. So it's worth a listen, because when we met up with Raphael at the photography show, and he always tells the story that we grilled him really hard and made him feel really uncomfortable, and I was like, well, it kind of needed to be done. Right. And he's a lovely, lovely guy. It was really, really interesting to obviously have him on and hear kind of what his plans were. That's episode 51. So that's going to be a good few years ago now. And, I'll talk about Capture One later in the thing, because I've done something and it's very exciting. But yeah, that was a great episode. And then Monashi, when she came on, I thought that was great when we were talking about taking time for yourself. Mm-hmm. So obviously we had Lucy, who talked about imposter syndrome, and then we had Monashi, and she was talking about, obviously her project work, but then also, sitting down with a photo book and a coffee in the morning and just having that time to yourself, not worrying about work and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've really tried to embrace that sort of thing.
Emily May as well did a lot.
Emily
was very
May was
inspiring
great
in that sense. And
yeah, that was a great episode as well. I mean, we've been so fortunate to have so many amazing guests. It's been it's been brilliant. And then obviously we had Christina Force on, who I obviously work really closely with and think she's amazing. And hopefully you guys found that as helpful as I usually do. I mean, all in all, it's just been episode 100 is it's been a ride.
Yeah. So it's with great sadness that
you got my email, good.
No, I mean, I think as we always say, obviously we are always open to suggestions for future guests, future topics, things that people want to hear about, people want to see, because ultimately we're doing this for the listeners, so, and for the wider community. So if you are a photographer out there, or you work on the other side of the desk, or you work in production, or you work as an assistant, and you want to learn about some aspect of the industry that you think we might be able to find an interesting guest to bring on to give some insight, then feel free to say, I'd love to hear more on this topic, or more on that topic, or somebody who does this kind of work. There's lots that we've still got in mind. We really want to get on, unit stills photographers. I'd love to, I mean, we've got a huge list of guests that we're kind of like slowly working through, trying to convince to come on.
We do, yeah.
So, and there's all sorts of genres that we still haven't covered, that we'd like to cover, but it always helps to know that there are people that genuinely want to hear about that specific thing. That gives us a kick up the bum that we sometimes need to be able to say, okay, let's get that guest booked in.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? We obviously I'm a very different person now versus 6 years ago. Infinitely more patient.
And you're in colour for a start.
Well, that's true. I have managed to get some melatonin in my skin. No, that's not right. Is it melanin? That's the one. But yes, no, it's a. I feel like I'm an infinitely better business person, photographer, generally person in general. Obviously still clumsy as hell, looking around at all the confetti. But yeah, it's been an amazing way of growing for me personally. I'm sure you probably feel the same in some aspects. But the mission always was to provide this for you guys. Obviously, it's very time intensive from our side, and we try our best to put them out as often as we can. Being as busy as we are. So really, please do reach out. Let us know what you think. Let us know, who you would like us to reach out to and stuff like that. We've now hit this kind of big milestone of 100. And it feels like, I'm a bit buoyed by it, if I'm honest, because
I think yourself a bit bored by it.
No. But most
That's exactly what we don't want you to say, Tom.
But most podcasts, I can't remember the stat, but I think most podcasts never get past episode 5 or 10. I can't remember what it is, and here we are. Episode 100 feels like a nice place to knock it on the. No. I mean, it feels like a nice place to keep going.
We even did the photography show this year, which, if you haven't seen that episode, you get to see us roving around and finally see the height difference between me and Tom on camera.
I will say it was accentuated slightly by the camera, but yes, it was quite entertaining. But yeah, no, it's a great thing to do. We love doing it, and hopefully you guys like listening to it as well.
On that note, what else what was it you were, the Capture One thing? What's this?
Right. Okay. Wireless tethering.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So it's specific to two different types of cameras currently, and we're talking about second gen wireless tethering here, right? It was slightly, almost immeasurably slower than me using a cable. And I was like, oh,
well,
very cool.
Yeah.
There are some caveats.
Yeah.
I had an R10, BG R10 grip in my camera. So I've had to buy an R5 Mark II because I've got a couple of jobs coming up. And I was just like, actually, do you know what? Wireless tethering would be really helpful here. And especially if it's as fast as everyone says, or as fast as I've been told. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get it set up. I'll try it. So I've bought a Wi-Fi 7 setup. Now, when people are like Wi-Fi 7, Wi-Fi 6 is not correct, if that makes sense, because you have to be Wi-Fi 7 specifically on the 6 gigahertz band, whereas people are like Wi-Fi 6, and I'm like, no, that's not the correct band. It gets very confusing. But you have to be on Wi-Fi 7 enabled things. The camera is Wi-Fi 7, so you then have to get
it's a rubbish name for a band. Wi-Fi 6
is Wi-Fi 6. Their second record was pretty good. It was right. I was going to make it. I was going to make it like a Wi-Fi gag. I'm not going to. So I've bought this. Don't know if you can see this. I love these
for our listeners.
Tom
holds up a black box with a shiny screen. It's about the size of a phone.
I mean, as usual, this is normally. I mean, all our gadgets are like this, right? This is a GLI Net Moody 7. Moody, M-U-D-I. And it is a Wi-Fi 7 5G router. So you can stick a SIM card in it and then turn it on, and then you have Wi-Fi 7 across your set. Now,
we will link to this in the show notes.
We
Moody bit of kit that he's got.
Quickly, before I forget, your older M1 MacBook Pro does not have Wi-Fi 7. It cannot see the network. The reason I got this, and this is a little tip for you, is you can plug this in USB-C, and then you can turn off your Wi-Fi, and then you can get LAN over USB-C from this, so you can get the Wi-Fi 7 speed by connecting this over USB-C into your MacBook Pro.
Right.
That is how you don't have to upgrade all of your kit
as well
to get this doing. Now, that was about 370 quid. The camera obviously is expensive, but after I got it set up last night, I was genuinely thrilled. And if you had told me 6 years ago when we started this show that I would be able to have really snappy, it doesn't feel like it lags at all and genuinely feels like not far off as fast as a cable, and disconnecting and connecting is a little bit, it's not quite as instant as a cable because obviously there's a bit of a handshaking that goes on. But honestly, I was so impressed. I have not used this on a live shoot. My first live shoot with it is tomorrow and Thursday. But so far, I've done loads of tests through walls and stuff, and it's been really impressive. So, yeah. Well done.
It was one of those things when I was in Athens, the team at Capture One were like, we've got a list of features that we're working on, and they wanted my opinion in terms of priority. And I'd put the wireless tethering as quite a high priority. I thought, like that will be a game changer. And they showed it to me there. They kind of gave me a quick demo of it working, but I've not tested it to any capacity in the way that you will have done. And, as listeners know, the tech side of things is not really something that interests me that much. But I'm fascinated to see how that will work, because I, for one, I move a lot when I shoot. My style of photography is quite kind of, I was going to say chaotic, but that doesn't sound good, does it? Fluid, yeah. I think just generally, like, I've constantly got digis trying to like lock me down onto a tripod. We need plates.
Yeah.
But for me, the idea of wireless tethering is really appealing. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how it works. I would have to upgrade my camera to the Mark IIs.
That's the problem.
That'll be the thing that holds me back for now.
And also a caveat is it's the rumors. Again, haven't tested this because I just bought for the first time ever, I just bought not first time ever, but I bought a full UK import. Normally, I'm quite happy buying whatever. Grey import, it's never really bothered me. I've never had that issue. But then on this one, there were rumors circulating that if you buy a grey import, the Wi-Fi band on the camera isn't, I don't know, there was something up with it that basically meant that it wasn't able to then communicate properly. So I bought this, CVP had a deal on the other day, so I bought it, and it's just, I am genuinely stunned at how impressive in my tests it was.
Are there any other benefits for the Mark II over the Mark I Canon?
Not really. I think the IAF is rubbish. It won't calibrate on my eye, and then when it does, it won't let me get the focus point far enough to where I need it, if that makes sense.
IAF for listeners is what?
Oh, so yeah. So do you remember, right, did you ever use an EOS 3 or an EOS 5?
No, but I remember hearing about them. Yeah.
Right. They had a little sensor in the viewfinder that pinged back into your eye. So it was watching where your eye was moving. And the R5 II has IAF. So when you've calibrated it, which I have not been able to, I've only been able to calibrate it once because then it just kept breaking and wouldn't let me calibrate. You're able to then move the focus point around, looking with your eye.
Right.
Clever. So far in practice, it's shocking. Not a feature I could write home about at all.
No.
Like it just doesn't work.
It'll take a lot of getting used to as well.
Yeah, and also I obviously have jittery eyes because when I have managed to get it working, it's like the little point is like doing that a lot, and I'm like, well, no, I need to focus on it, not focus past it and then on it and then past it again.
Yeah. And it wouldn't work if you had like a foot obsession or something and you just kept on glancing down at somebody's feet.
No, it'd be terrible.
Or somebody turned up with like really garish thing that caught your eye and you just kept looking at it and the camera would be like, oh, that's what you got to focus on. No.
No, it's also, before I forget, I got confused last night.
Yeah.
I was get it all set up, everything's working as it should, and I put a grip in the camera.
Okay.
Right? We all do it. So I put the grip in, and then suddenly all these errors. Well, do you not use a grip?
Sorry, it's just the way we all do it.
Oh yeah, we all do it.
On cameras.
But you use grips. Do you not use grips?
Just sitting there at night, putting a grip on my camera and taking it off again.
I mean, it's Sunday night, isn't it? What else are you going to be doing? So I put the grip in the camera and turn it on, and suddenly these errors come up. It's like incompatible grip, and I'm like, oh God, have they like linked? Have they hidden or like killed features behind a different grip or something like that? And I looked one up, and there is a new grip with a fan built into it and venting and stuff like that, because the R5 II on the bottom has got vents.
Not like a little fan that sits on the camera being like, you're great.
No, small. No,
you're amazing.
No, I would love that, like a little hype fan.
You're doing so good.
Have you ever seen?
I really like that last shot. Well done.
Have you ever seen all my stickers that I have all over all my digi stuff?
Is that what they say?
Yeah, they're all like little motivational. No, because for when I'm working with people that I haven't worked with before, I have all my file naming conventions and some info that they need. Yeah. That they'll always need. I have that on a sticker to go where the old touch bar was, and then at the end it's like, smile, you're doing great.
Yeah. So, I have that on the front of the camera for the the subject. Yeah,
nice. I just have a little bird.
Cheer up, you miserable bastard! It just says.
So yeah, no. So it's a funny one, but I put the grip in last night, and it flashed up all these errors, and I went, oh, my heart sank. And then I pulled the grip out, and I looked at my other grip, and I was like, why are they different? Have I got what? And the BGR10.
This is a real insight into your Sunday night. Sorry,
isn't it? Yeah. It was a BGR10 and a BGR20.
Yeah.
They both fit the R5s. But the BGR10 is the old one. The BGR20 is the newer version. The BGR10 cripples the features.
Okay.
The BGR20 is the one that doesn't cripple the features. Right. But if you want to do extended 4K and 8K, you then want the grip with the fan. But that's an extra 550 quid.
Oof.
And my heart sank a bit when I bought the camera and went, oh no, do I now have to buy the grip? Yeah. Which if you have an R20, you don't. But if you have an R10, you do.
Right.
So anyway.
I think I understand that.
Long story short, we're trying to talk about gear a little bit less, but I was really impressed with this. And I thought I should just tell you guys, my tests so far were like really impressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that as we both know, because with our chats with Capture One, they've got some. Obviously, we both kind of like can't talk about certain aspects that they're not released yet, but there are some exciting things on the way that I think will make photographers' lives a lot easier. So it's exciting to have a company like that are working really with. I mean, this is why I always loved Fuji. Fujifilm over the years was because I felt like it was nice to have a camera brand that was responsive to photographers' feedback and was actually wanting to work with their end clients to give them and deliver something to them that, that was useful. And it feels like Capture are kind of doing the same thing in the software world.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So listen, quickly, I know I didn't mean to really talk as long about that as possible. I just thought it might be quite interesting to talk about the caveats and what you kind of have to, the hiccups that I found. Mm-hmm. But we should talk about the future. Because it is coming. It's coming as fast as it has ever been. But, for the next 100 episodes, we've already said that we would love you guys to reach out and kind of...
Hang on. The next 100 episodes, is that going to be another 6 years?
Sure.
My God.
We're tied at the hip, man. We got, you said yes to doing this show in the first place.
Oh, You're the one. If we end up having done this show for 12 years?
12 years.
We'll be like an old married couple.
Well, how old we'll be? 26 and 27.
Yeah.
So, no, it's God. Did that just fill you with dread?
No, it just gave me
it didn't. Absolutely not. No dread here.
Just gave me some perspective.
Yeah, 6 years is a decent passage of time.
Yeah.
If we die at 60, that would have been 10% of our life.
Cool. That's a nice rosy way to end the show.
Mate, that's how bad I am at maths. I was like, wow, what's 10 times 6?
Hopefully we can do another 100 shows unless one of us dies.
Yeah, exactly. See? Be fine. I'm sure it'll be okay, depending on how work goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your hopes and dreams for the next 6 years?
Surviving after all of that. Yeah, making it another 6 years, that would be a milestone in itself. Mm-hmm. I feel like, as you were saying, I feel like my photographic practice has developed and changed and is constantly evolving and changing and getting better and shedding things and acquiring new things. And long may that continue, because I think, to have longevity in any career, you need to be able to grow and to continue to grow. It's very easy to plateau, and certainly I have plateaued in periods, and then you go through a period of growth, and sometimes the growth can be a bit of a struggle, it can be a bit painful, it can be a bit unsettling, but it's a really important thing to do. I think, we've both been working as photographers for 20 years now, if not more. And I think that in itself is not something to be, dismissed, because I think to do a career for that long in something where you are freelance, when you're relying on your wits and you're relying on just yourself, is no mean feat, especially when you're doing it, in a country with some of the highest cost of living costs and standards, etc., to try and keep up to, and you've got a family to feed, and all of the other stuff that goes with it. So I think, for me, for the next 6 years, personally, it's just about surviving and continuing and growing. And then for the show, I think that goes hand in hand with that. For me, it's about remaining curious. It's about getting those guests on that kind of inspire me and excite me, and I feel like I can learn something from, and hopefully the listeners can learn something from. And continuing those discussions. I think it's very easy when you're a photographer to see other photographers as competition rather than as somebody or someone that you can learn from and you can help in return.
Yep.
I feel like the community is much stronger when we actually reach out to one another and we help each other.
Stronger
rather
together.
Than, yeah. I think there's so much to that is still, people are still kind of learning and discovering, and I don't know, there's so much potential. There's so many talented individuals out there, and I find that in itself inspiring. When you realize how many photographers, you can either see that as daunting or you can see it as inspiring. I personally get excited by it because I think, wow, what a wonderful creative community there is out there doing exciting and inspiring things. And I will never not take that for granted.
No,
is that
good.
A double?
I will
is that
not.
The correct thing? Never not.
Never not. I will never not take that for granted.
I will never take it for granted.
I was going to say.
I'm taking it all for granted.
Is that right? Okay. Best of luck with that, Greg. No, but it is. You go back to when we had to Nick Dummer from the OOP, and Isabel obviously came on from the OOP as well in a more recent episode. We chat about that, and the strength that we are together is good. And I feel like you're right. The whole like competition thing, that I feel like that's a kind of like an out of date view. Obviously, don't get me wrong. I know we're competing. I do. I get it. But if you listen to your peers, if you can chat to them about it, you'd be surprised at what you learn, what you feel more confident, pitching figures wise, or kind of, talking about all sorts of things that I think, for the past however long have been quite a taboo subject. And then just being able to have those chats with people very openly. I think we are stronger together, and I think it's a good thing. So long hopefully may that last.
And on that note,
we won't talk about my hopes and dreams for the next 6 years, because I'll tell you all about them soon. No, that sounded way cryptic, and I just don't have any. I haven't thought that far ahead.
Well, you have lots of interesting things on the go at the moment, so which we can't talk about yet. But
I do, yes. When the time is ready, or when the time is right, I'll unleash them all to you.
When the chicken is cooked.
When the chicken is cooked. Oh, I'm now a Costco member. You're talking about chickens, so that's very exciting.
Well, I've often considered a Costco membership. Worth it? How many chickens did you buy the other day?
None, but I do have 55,000 rolls of kitchen roll. So, swings and roundabouts. No, it's cool, but as long as you're aware that in order to save the money, you are likely having to buy in bulk.
Yeah. And store all that.
And store it all. Yeah. Which is a bit of a surprise for me. But I'm most likely...
Which is why I've also got a shipping container in the garden.
Yeah. I've actually got a shipping container somewhere else. But yes, it is like that. But they quite often will have a money off on a MacBook Pro, for example. I think there's currently 350 or 400 quid off.
You just need to buy 17 of them.
No, you buy one of them, luckily. But yes, it's I don't know. I haven't quite figured out whether it's worth it or not. Give me 6 months and I'll tell you.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. But yeah,
see, that in itself is a new side of Tom, because I think the old Tom would have been like, it's 100% worth it. Love it.
Yeah, love it. It's brilliant.
6 months time. No, give it up.
No, but this is it, right? I've had a very transformative 6 years. So, and now, like, I've just bought that R5 II, and
you've definitely reined your gear.
That's pretty much
habits.
That's pretty much the first thing I've bought this year. Like, I bought a couple of lenses specifically for a client and a job. Because it made financial sense to do that. But outside of that, I haven't really bought anything else. So it was nice to do that. But I will say, because of who I bank with, I'm able to save a certain percentage. So when, it automatically gets filtered out into different accounts. So when you get paid, £500, it'll take 5% or whatever of that into that other account. So I never see that money until I look in that account and go, oh, right, cool. Actually, there's enough there to buy the camera I need.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And actually, it's a way more, I now know that account is empty. Mm-hmm. So I'm just off gear again. And it's quite a good way of doing it. Yeah. So I'm a changed man. I genuinely feel that way. Although I still like to waste time, because apparently my day now is going to be getting rid of all this coloured confetti. So on that confetti shell,
bombshell,
it's been a pleasure to start this with you and do it with you. It's been genuinely a brilliant experience. You're a lovely chap and you're a good man. So
back at you, babe.
And you are an excellent photographer. So I will say, your work was brilliant 6 years ago, and it's even better now. So don't worry about mine.
Both. I think I done good, because that would have been awkward.
No, do you know what's interesting? Compare me now to 6 years ago, and we were talking about this just a minute earlier in the episode, right? 6 years ago, I think I was in a really mixed place. I had just got an R5 after doing years of system swaps where I hadn't really grown to know a camera or a color kind of space or anything like that. And I didn't know where I wanted to go and I didn't know who I wanted to please. And now I've had 6 years back on my Canon brand cameras, and I know exactly who I want to please, and I'm having a lovely time. There is only one person I want to please.
It's you. It's got to be. It's always got to be. Yeah.
100%. And honestly, it's been a really long process, but it's, me now versus 6 years ago. It's been, very transformative. And I think the podcast does have a big part to play in that. So, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, dear listeners, thank you for sticking with us for 100 episodes. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one.